Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Mirror Now with me, Pooja Rajput. Our top focus. Private airline Indigo has faced backlash on social media platforms for allegedly denying the boarding to a specially abled child in Ranchi. One of the passengers alleged that at least one Indigo employee misbehaved with the boy's parents. The anxious 13-year-old boy in a wheelchair was deemed threat to fellow passengers. In a statement, the Indigo has said that, and I quote here, "In view of the safety of the passengers, a specially abled child could not board the flight with his family as he was in a state of panic. The ground staff waited for him to calm down till the last minute, but to no avail." The airline has also said that it made special arrangements, provided hotel to the family members and flew them next morning to their destination.
तुम्हारे को समझ नहीं है इसकी संगीत, तुम्हारे को इसकी समझ नहीं है, जिस समझ के बाहर है तुम्हारे बाहर है, इसीलिए I will not lower my voice. This is unfair. This is totally unfair what you are doing. It is unfair. You do not understand.
Just because of your argument, we cannot accept.
Because you do not understand.
I understood that
It
is
is not my argument. Look at the laws. Which law are you stopping him on? Which law?
In this condition, he was panicked a lot.
I was there. I have been hearing it. You don't even understand the English. Yeah, who is your senior?
Senior was there only.
I am also here in the airport. Yeah, we are seeing also for the last 2 hours. You are just standing on your ego, okay?
Now we have a reaction coming into this whole controversy where Union Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia has in fact slammed the Indigo Airlines on the incident. He said, and I quote here, that there is zero tolerance towards such behavior. No human being should have to go through this. Investigating the matter by myself, post which the appropriate action will be taken, unquote. And I'm being joined by my colleague Sameer Dikshit live on the broadcast, who's reporting from Mumbai and tracking the story. Sandeep, a very good morning to you. If just for the benefit of our viewers, if you could just, elaborate more on exactly what this controversy was.
Yes, definitely. To start with the recent development, we all know that Aviation Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, he has just posted on Twitter and has said that the entire incident is quite unacceptable. It seems that it has to be thoroughly investigated and the instructions has been given. And above all, he himself will be monitoring the entire investigation. He will be taking all the updates himself, and what action is going to be taken, that he will be uprising in a short while, in the sense that in a day or two, whatever action will be taken against the faulty, whether it be the airline or whomsoever, then the action will be apprised from the Ministry of Civil Aviation. And the second update is that the aviation regulator DGCA has taken the entire investigation for himself. DGCA will be investigating into the entire incident, and what we are getting to know from our sources that the airline has given a primary details of the account of the entire incident to the aviation regulator. So these are fresh development that has taken place. But to go into detail, so this entire incident is of 7th May, on which at the Ranchi airport, this especially abled passenger was denied boarding the aircraft, the Indigo aircraft, by the staff, ground staff, and it has been alleged that the especially abled passenger was in panic situation. The airline in the statement has said that the especially abled passenger was in a panic situation. The ground staff waited for this passenger to calm down and to be in a fit to fly position. But then a statement also mentions that as the especially abled passenger was not in a proper condition to fly the aircraft, to onboard the aircraft, then he was denied boarding that particular aircraft. Whereas if you go by the several videos that are floating on social media that are quite viral, then it clearly depicts the fact that many co-passengers, they were raising against the airline, the behavior of the staff. They were saying that the passengers should be allowed to travel, and the co-passengers have no issue in the entire, the passenger being boarded on the flight, and they have no issues with that. Now, the big question arises is that is that particular Indigo staff has the capacity to deny boarding First. Second is, was there a doctor at the airport? If yes, then should the doctor not be called upon, and the doctor should not take a final call whether the that particular passenger should fly or not fly? So these are a couple of big questions that has to be investigated, and DGCA is investigating the entire incident, and we expect a primary report to be out by today evening or tomorrow.
More question here, you know, this whole incident has once again triggered the whole debate over flying with disability, especially coming in at a time when there's so much fight and work being done for inclusivity. But, you know, this one incident has not just triggered the debate over disability, but it also throws spotlight on the issue, rather the guidelines that have been issued by the Aviation Ministry. So if you could just throw some light on what exactly are the guidelines or SOPs for the ones who are flying in the airlines and, you know, have special needs.
Quite a valid question, because we all know that usually the person or the travelers, they aren't well aware of the guidelines or the rules, do's and don'ts in case of such a scenario. But yes, the broader line is that if anyone needs a medical assistance, then it has to be properly provided by the airline or the ground staff. If such a situation arises that the passenger is not in a condition to fly, in the sense that more medical assistance is required, then it could be provided by the airport staff or the doctor present over there as well. But in this particular case, if you see by the videos that are circulating and by the co-passengers account, now they are suggesting that the situation was quite in control, in the sense that co-passenger had no issues traveling with the especially abled passenger. So this also raises the fact that on what ground the Indigo staff denied the boarding of especially abled passenger. The second point is that usually in such cases where the specially abled passengers travels, then it is usually intimated to the airline well in advance, and they provide assistance as well, which usually airlines does so. It is in very rare or few cases where these sort of instances take place. But even one instance takes place, that is definitely not a good good gesture either for the passenger, or even it dents the image of the airline. And that is the reason that it is quite a sensitive case, which has sent shock across the aviation sector, that how they should be dealing with these instances with the specially abled passengers ahead as well. And that is the reason that if you see that Aviation Minister has clearly mentioned in his tweet and has said that he will be monitoring the entire investigation and taking the accounts himself, and he will personally see that the proper justice is being done in this particular case. So recently, or the latest update also coming in, that Indigo might come up with the updated statement in next 2 to 3 hours, that we will definitely report to our viewers. But yes, the entire incident is being investigated, and a report is being pending upon.
All right, Sami, thank you for all those valuable inputs on the story that we've been covering relentlessly since morning.